One evening, as the remnants of our meal lay scattered across the kitchen table, my wife spoke of yearning for liberation, her words flowing with a casual ease, as if she were requesting a simple favor. We sat in the dim light, her voice steady, almost rehearsed, as she expressed a desire for freedom. Initially, I thought she meant a fleeting break, a weekend to herself, perhaps, or a momentary reprieve from life's weight. But as her words unraveled, the truth struck me like a sudden, heavy thud. She wasn't seeking a pause from routine. She wanted separation from me. Staring into her eyes across the table, a decade of our intertwined lives crystallized into that single, sharp word, freedom. The composed, unwavering way she delivered it, without a flicker of regret, cut deeper than the word itself. There was no struggle in her, no trace of doubt. She had already set her course. I didn't shout or beg. Instead, I grabbed my keys and stepped into the night, each footfall heavy with an ache that pressed against my chest like unseen stones. I wandered without purpose, wrestling with the harsh reality that the woman I'd devoted myself to no longer desired me. Her declaration made without the slightest flinch. As I roamed aimlessly, Sarah, our neighbor, noticed me. She stood in her driveway, folding laundry she'd just pulled from her car, her eyes lingering when she saw my expression. "Rough night?" she asked, her tone calm yet inviting, the kind that gently unravels your guard. I shook my head, but the truth spilled out unprompted. "She says she wants to be free." Sarah tilted her head, her gaze seeming to see straight through the cracks in my spirit. Without hesitation, she said, "Come with me. You shouldn't be alone right now." Numbly, I followed her to her car, uncertain why I agreed. Perhaps it was the quiet authority in her voice, or maybe in that moment, anyone who acknowledged my pain felt like a lifeline. She drove us to a small diner on the edge of town, its neon sign blinking faintly, the mugs worn and perpetually infused with the scent of coffee. We slid into a booth, and she ordered coffee for us both. I couldn't face food, but the warmth of the mug in my hands anchored me to the present. Sarah didn't push me to revisit the words that had broken me. Instead, she shared stories of her day, her teenage daughter's latest antics, the time her washing machine broke, leaving her to wash clothes in the bathtub for weeks. These simple, everyday anecdotes, so ordinary and unassuming, began to stitch together the torn edges of my heart. When I finally spoke, my voice was a faint murmur. 10 years together, and she just says she wants to be free. Sarah met my eyes, her gaze warm yet firm. "Then give her that freedom," she said. "But don't let her diminish who you are." Those words hit harder than anything my wife had ever said. For months, perhaps longer, I'd been eroding myself, contorting to hold together a marriage that was already unraveling. Sarah wasn't just offering comfort. She was reminding me that my value didn't depend on my wife's rejection. After the diner, she drove us to a lookout just outside town, where the city lights twinkled below like a sea of stars. We sat in silence, the crisp night air calming my breathing. I expected more advice, perhaps trite sayings about time healing all wounds. Instead, Sarah said only, "Don't let her ruin you." Her voice carried a gravity that felt less like guidance, and more like a command. In the weeks that followed, I began to see Sarah differently, not in the way rumors might suggest, but as someone who appeared exactly when I needed her most. She checked in quietly, offering a wave from across the street or dropping off extra food with a simple, "Made too much." These small gestures held a warmth my wife's detachment never had. Meanwhile, my wife embraced her newfound independence. Late nights out, laughter with people I didn't know. The more she reveled in her freedom, the clearer it became. She hadn't been confined by our marriage. She'd been waiting for a way out. Strangely, I found myself caring less. Whenever I teetered on the brink of despair, Sarah's words resounded. "Don't let her ruin you." Then one night, my wife called out of the blue, her voice shaking with urgency. "I think I made a mistake," she said. "This isn't what I thought it would be. Can we start over?" I let the silence stretch between us. For years, I'd been the one repairing, pursuing, mending our cracks. But not anymore. "No," I said finally. "You wanted freedom. You have it." She cried, she pleaded, but my resolve stood firm. Not out of bitterness, but because I'd finally understood. Her decision didn't determine my worth. The next morning, Sarah saw me on the porch, her eyebrow arched in a silent question. I smiled, truly for the first time in months. She called, I said. Sarah's lips curved into a knowing smile. And, she prompted. I told her no. She nodded, a quiet affirmation in her eyes, then said, Good. You deserve better than someone who only wants you when it's convenient. That night, I lay in bed, enveloped by the stillness of my own thoughts. No mocking laughter, no cold void beside me, just peace. But this time it wasn't empty. It felt like a new chapter. My wife had sought liberation, and I'd given it to her. What took my breath away wasn't the pain of her absence, but the realization that I hadn't lost anything worth keeping. Sometimes, the most profound discovery isn't the hurt of betrayal. It's the strength you uncover within yourself when someone else chooses to leave.